Tonight. Hope we're all happy and safe and a bit dry and warm. Sorry, just getting the camera. I'm in the lounge room tonight because I needed my board. So, who have we got in here? We've got lots of you in here tonight. We've got Anne, Ruth, Christine, Sue. Hi, how are you? Yvonne, Joanne. Hi, sweetie. Loving. Gonna wait and see what that one comes up with the rearrangement of those blocks. Would be nice. We've got Carol, Dizzy, Gail. How are we? It's all interesting tonight. Hi, Anne-Marie. How are you? I've got my lounge chair there, so I'm using that as my little thing tonight. Hi, Marg. How are you? So how have we all been since, what day are we on? We're on Saturday. So how was Treasure Hunt Wednesday? Did you enjoy that one? Treasure Hunt Wednesday was quite fun for everyone to look at and to find things. So you had a great time looking for everything on there. Hi, Jane. Not unpicked yet. No worries, Joan. It's not unpicked, honey. We're just going to rearrange it and we're going to practice that one again and see how it looks. Joan's got a wonderful little quilt that she's made and we're just going to switch a few blocks around and see what it looks like. So what have I been up to? Candy squares. I think I've got 11 hours sleep in the last 3 days because I've been up very late doing things. Definitely doing lots of cutting, getting it all prepared for you guys. Did have a little nanny nap. Hi April, how are you? Little nanny nap this afternoon, so I'm all good to go for another long night. So we are going to get into candy squares. I know a lot of you have been waiting for it. Gail, yours will be in the post. Gail's already got her order in. They are on the website already. So don't forget the 3 S's. We've got the subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell and get all the notifications for when I'm live or any other ones come up. Hi Karen, how are you? So yeah, don't forget to stalk me. Hi Amanda. Don't forget to stalk me on Facebook and Instagram and share the posts so we can share it around so everyone can come in and join in. So yeah, and we're got a lovely little group here. You're all getting to know each other from around Australia. We're all chatting, getting to know where we're all from. So pop up all where you're from and what you're up to, what you're doing, and definitely enjoy the nights. I do lots of different things on here and have fun. So let's do candy squares. Let's do some candy squares. I'm going to take this one down, all right, from behind me. Let's just pop it. It should stay in with this pin over here. And I'm going to show you how it goes together. So, oh, that's now nice and bright now, isn't it? Sorry, guys. What if I turn this light off? Oh, that's a little bit better. All right, so candy squares comes in this kit. All right, so you've got your 2.5-inch strips and some 5-inch squares. The 2.5-inch strips, there's 46 in each roll, so you've got 92 strips that you need to get out of this, and there's 23 different colours, so 23 we work with. All right, so when you open it up, you're going to get 4 of each colour, so 4 strips of each colour. Is that lighting okay? I seem to be a bit bright. Maybe if I move back a bit. So 4 strips of each colour. From each strip, what you're going to do is you're going to cut. Right, you're going to cut. Make sure I get this in here. Right, now you're not going to sew them on that. That's just for me to hang them up because otherwise you see the good side of me for too long. So we're going to cut all of these different sizes out of the 4 strips of each colour. Okay. When you do that, you will. When you do that, what we're going to then do is make 23 of these blocks. See if I can get it here. Actually, if I do it there, you guys can see it still. It's in my view, but let me know if it's not in your view, okay? I'm just going to pop him down a little bit so we can still see there. All right, yep, definitely. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to make 23, use 2 hands would be better, 23 of these blocks. So we've got the 5-inch square in the middle. Let's grab my 5-inch square. Go. Any colour, because in the 5-inch squares you get 46. You're going to have 23 left over. I'll show you what you can do with those. So we're going to have the 5-inch square, and we're going to take the first 4 strips and put them around. Okay. So I don't sew like a Velcro, because these are Velcroed on, ladies. Just to let you know, nice and quick and easy. Right, and you're going to put the first round round. So now from what I call the hula skirt, you're going to have used those first 4. All right. Hi Margot, how are you, sweetie? So we're going to use the first 4. So those 4 strips from there, from the blue one, have been used. The next round will go round, and the next 4 will be used. All right, then when we go around again, these next 4 will be used. So what happens then is you will use all of these strips on the hula skirt, and you will never double up because you've only cut that size in each colour. So you're only going to be able to put around 1 in the blue. You'll never do that again because you've used it. So what happens is once you get to 23 of these, you've used all of your strips and not one of them's doubled up. All right, so they're not doubled up or anything, and you use them all. All right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to then cut, get rid of those. Love the lounge chair beside me, just saying. We're going to cut these all into 4. Okay, so we're going to cut them all into 4. Let me grab my cut ones. So we're going to go 1. Is that too high? No. 2, 3. If anyone's commented, sorry I've missed it. I'm going to have a quick look here. And Margot and Karen. Hi Karen, how are you? Right, so we're going to cut them all into 4. Okay? Once they're all cut into 4, I'm now going to forget about squares. We're not going to even think about squares anymore. I'm going to now look at this quilt in rows. So you've got row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, etc. So if this is on row 1, this one would need to be on row 2. And the Velcro needs to stick. Right. So we've got row 1, this is now on row 2. So then we get another set. Pretend this one has been joined together, right? And this one will be on row 2. Okay, so then when I come down to row 3, I'm going to have to make sure I match this one up to get into row 3. And it then shows that they go, it looks like they're underneath each other. Okay, so see that? So that was row 1. Row 2 had that other square of this one above, and then we put the 2 of that one. Then when we got to row 3, we had to make sure this one matched. So obviously row 3 would have here, and row 4 would have this one. Does that make sense? All right, and that's just how easy it is to put candy squares together. Okay, so you're just going to do it in rows. Once you get down to row 8, let me get rid of this one. Okay, you get down to row 8, you actually have finished the quilt. Okay, so that's got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and you finished your quilt. It is easy, Jane. It looks complicated, didn't it? It's not complicated at all. I've broken it down so it's nice and easy to put it together. You have to cut the middle one. Oh, get in the right spot. You have to cut the middle guy into 4 as well because he needs to come in for seam allowances. All right, because if you don't cut him, he's going to be a bit bigger and it's just not going to fit in. So you need to cut that one in the middle as well. Okay, and then you just bring him in on that row 4. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes together quickly too. Karen, have you done one? All right, I know a few of you have got the kits. Margot's going to do this one and show us next week. It all finished, aren't you, Margot? All right, and so we're going to have that one on there. Yeah, it does come together quick. Now, thing is, you're going to have quite a few of these left over because we've taken them out of that corner. All right, when you cut your hula skirt, yeah, go Margot. I reckon she'll have it done. All right. You're gonna have a few of these left over. Hardest part is deciding what colours to put together and then where to put them in the layout. Jane, forget it. Just because you're only going to remember you're only going to have one set of that colour. So I sort of, when I laid this out, I made sure there wasn't too many of all this little pink or the purple in the same spot. That was about all I had to do, even the black. All right, I sort of spaced it out. But when you're putting them together, they're all going to be different anyway. This one actually got the green near it, but you wouldn't even notice unless I pointed it out like I just did. All right, but it still looks fine. Okay, so you're going to have some squares left over. You're going to have this left over when you cut your hula skirt. And you're going to have 23 of the 5-inch squares left over. All right, so you can take all those and put them in that box that we all have that has that block that didn't make the quilt. So I'm going to do a table runner or another scrappy quilt or something with it, right? Because we all have that box that has those bits that were left over. Not with this one. In the pattern, I give you an extra one. And you put them all together and you put the child of candy squares. So this quilt here, see if I can hang it up over here, okay, is the child of candy squares. Probably wishes into the other one behind. But this one's the child of candy squares. So this is all your squares that you've cut out and left. All right, the border, I've used all those little bits and the 5-inch squares. Just two sides, so it gives it a rectangle look. All right, so you'll get the 2 quilts out of the 1 kit. Okay, out of that 1 kit, you will get these. Now, if you like this pattern much better, yeah, well, that's what I was about to say, Jane. If you like this one better, still go down the same road of making the squares, cutting them all into 4, and then just lay them out like this. All right? When we give you the pattern, where did I put the pattern? I did bring it over. I did bring one out. Yeah, it didn't make it to the lounge. I did bring the pattern out. So in the pattern, we actually give you about 4 different layouts of this one, but you can just mix them up, all right? And then you can make one bigger quilt with just all the squares cut up, and it looks quite effective as well. I particularly went out to the shop and got the pattern and brought it back. Did I put that on here? Nope. I'll find it when I finish. Okay. As Narelle is always organised. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I knew I brought it out. There we go. So that's it there. And if I open this up, let me just show you. Inside, you'll get the Child of Candy Squares pattern. And there's 4 different ways that I've laid it out. All right? So you can do all sorts of things. And as I say, with my patterns and that, I'm not going to come around and check to make sure you've done it all correctly and right to what I said you have to do, because it's not like that. I'm just showing you the technique. I'm showing you what I made, and if you like to lay it out a little bit differently, that's great, because I'd love to see it, because I love how all our different ideas come together. All right, so you get the Child of Candy Squares and the Candy Squares quilt all out of it. And as I did that, I realised you ladies are going to say, where's that dot fabric from? Yeah, don't. That was that was one I had many, many years ago, and I don't have it anymore in the supply. It was actually white fabric too. But anyway, all right, so we've got candy squares are up. $120 for the kit, comes with the free pattern, but you're getting the 2 out of it. We've also got back in stock 5-inch strips in your colours. What would be the minimum colours? What would be the minimum colours, Carol? 2, 3. Oh, I'm with you. So if you just want to do it as colour, okay. So somebody did many years ago, got off me some marble ones. Yeah, they're coming. So I might do one in the marbles. And just did a print one with a plain fabric. So the plain fabric was actually the square, right, in the middle. And then they just did some prints. So what you do, that was only with 10 colours out of the roll, all right, but you needed 96 strips. Okay, so you do need the 96 to get this sort of a size, or the 2 quilts. Okay, so you need 96. 2 colours you go from here, and then like that'll be one colour, that'll be one colour, and then these 2 will be another colour. You can do it as 2 colours as well. Yeah, I've just done it like this because I love the brights and I love solids, and I thought, just love this one. So 5-inch strips, you've got 1 of each one, you've got 23 strips in there. I've also got a few of them on there of just the 2.5-inch on their own, and also 10-inch squares are back in the solids. They've all got 46 in there because you've got 2 of each in the 2.5-inch strips and 10-inch squares. The 5-inch strips are just 1 of each. All right, and I've also got them as a 5-inch square pack as well. So I might put a few of those together with stepping stones and put some kits up for you. All right, so that's the Candy Squares quilt. That was so quick. Yeah, it's only 8:15 and I've shown you how to do 2 quilts. How cool is that? Is there any questions, ladies? Is there anything you want to know? Anything else? You can do it in the 2 colours, 3 colours, 4 colours. I just like it in the scrappy quilt. You could do it with your scraps. You know, you can buy the pattern on its own. So you can buy it with scraps, do it with scraps as well. All right. It's just the way it's put together, which is nice and easy. So as I said, you just put the squares together, cut them all into 4. How best to cut the strips? As in trees, do 2.5-inch strips. What you need to do when you cut 2.5-inch strips, so there are half squares on the side, on here, on this one. Oh, on the side of here, yes. You will get, oh, you can't see the side, hang on. Let me just pull that over so you can see the side of it. Does that work? Yeah. So yeah, but just remember, that's a half square up here, but you're putting them together as a row. So row 1, row 2, row 3, and row 4. So you lay it out first. What I do is I lay out the first 2 rows so I can see that this guy's going to match, right, and lay that out. Then I'll lay the next row out, and then I make sure he matches with him. All right. What do we got? I have trouble cutting straight lines. I'll give you a tip, Therese. Thank you very much. I'll get some fabric, which funnily enough, behind this divider is actually a pile of all my fabrics. Half squares on the side. Yes, how best to cut the strips. Okay, Therese, what I'll do is I'll grab a bit of fabric, and that would be easy if I know where. Hang on 2 secs. Grab a bit of fabric. Okay, so, lucky I do this. Here we go. Just went to the kitchen. Got a pile there where I was cutting all that. Okay, so here's your fabric. Okay, this is your selvage to selvage, right? And you want to cut them straight with your 2.5-inch strips. When you pick it up and put the selvage to selvage, I'm going to say it, when you get fabric cut from places, and more time to make all these quilts. And I'd love more time. Has anyone done it with a pattern fabric for the center? Squares and solids. Yes, someone has, but they didn't. Somebody bought one, but they haven't sent photos in, sweetie, so I can't really show you anything. But yes, that would look fine too. So you put a print one in here and then solids on the way out. All right. So when you get your fabric, now if you put the selvage to selvage, I always go selvage to selvage. I don't line up the cut that you've got it from, all right, because that cannot always be straight, okay? But if you go selvage to selvage, when you do, let's see if I can show this with this one in this. Right, so if I've got selvage to selvage, I won't say it again, right? And if you look at the bottom of it, right, it's only a small piece. See how there's sort of that bend in here? Right, see how there's sort of like a bend? Trees, I hope you can see that, right? What that means is if you lay that down, right, and cut it, that's where you'll get that banana bend and the cut won't be straight. So what you need to do is just, when you're holding selvage to selvage, okay, you just line it up, give it a shake, so that you don't have that bend in it, right? So you don't have that bend, okay? And when you don't have that bend and you cut a straight line off the edge and then cut your strip, you will get them straight. All right, let me just see if another colour shows up a little bit better with the bend. All right, I've got a darker colour here. Let's see if this one, funnily enough, I've got all these scraps of all the solids from where I've been cutting out, and they're right there on top of the pile. Oh, this one might show up a little bit better. These are cut straight, so let me crooked it. It's not a good word. All right, so if you were, I have this kit already, and oh my God, I'm scared. Oh, Margot, it's easy. All right, so this might show up a little bit better, Therese. So see there, see how it's got that, all right, it's got that bend, sort of like a bend in the middle, right? And as I move, so see the selvage here, as I move the selvages, they're still straight, okay? But as I move them, that bend will disappear. Give it a shake. Right, and that'll disappear, hold it straight. There we go. All right, that'll disappear, and then you can go straight up. All right, if you haven't got the room and you need to fold it again to go under your ruler, okay, this has to start off straight, and then you bring the bottom up to the selvage and keep that dead straight across the selvage. All right, and then just feel it that it's all flat in that fold. Bring it to trends and we'll help you. Oh, you're lovely, Karen. Yep, Margot, we'll get it done. Trees, if your ruler moves, try putting a weight at the end furthest from you. Yep, the weight holds the ruler in place. Yes, it does. The other little trick with rulers, I know I did do our hints and tips with rulers, but another trick with them is, let me just grab my ruler. All right. Now, this is the ruler, ladies, I use, and it is 30 years old. So I don't go and buy tools. I don't buy a lot of tools or anything. This one's 30 years old. I can still see my numbers on it. All right. When you're laying it on your fabric to cut, all right, try this out because it does work and it sounds funny. All right. When you put your hand down, leave your pinky off it. All right. That's not on the ruler because your hand doesn't want to move because your pinky, if you put the whole lot on, you can do this with the ruler and it will move. All right, so if you just leave the little pinky off, right, your hand doesn't want to leave it behind. So it doesn't move, okay? And yes, with that, Jane, put a weight on here and that also helps. If you've got some weights from at the gym, you know, the 1 kilo weights, don't have them here because don't do that because it's too much cutting. All right, you can put that on there and that'll help stop it. Yeah, Katrina knows you've got it. Oh yeah, no, that's all right, Margot. You're most welcome to call me and anyone can contact me anytime. That's fine. So yeah, that's a little trick with the rulers to stop it from moving. A whole hand's on there, of course the whole lot can move. All right, but if you just take your little pinky off, it's like in here, it's going, I don't want to leave you behind, so I'm not going to move. All right, and you just cut through from that way. All right, so I've been cutting fabric madly. And getting this done. I've still got lots. I still have 2 new ranges to bring out. Hopefully get one out by next Saturday for you because I've been getting the solids done and they're almost up to date. That's all right, Therese. No worries, sweetie. Any questions at all? I'm happy to answer any that I can. And if not, we've got other ladies in here that can help us out as well. We've got good old Joanne and Karen. There's a couple of Karens in here and everyone. And we all have our different little things. One of the things with patchworking, as I say, I don't use a lot of tools. I don't teach with a lot of tools, as you guys know. I stick with my standards on a lot of things. If you love the tools and you love getting them and it makes it happier for you to use, then you get them. That's okay. Because you've got to do what you love. Okay, if you don't do what you love, you don't do it. Hence, I don't like housework. Don't like doing it, right? So I always say the pinky on the table definitely works, does Jane? So yeah, it's just one of those things that you've got to enjoy what you do. If you find that it's easier to cut a template from a piece of paper and cut through that rather than go and buy a ruler, that's okay as well. All right. Bias making binding. It's easy just to run it through one of those binding tools and the iron. Sometimes I find I just do it with my fingers from each side and it works. All right, without the tool. I don't have a lot. Over 30 years, I could probably stack my rulers up and tools and they're only about this high. All right. One little trick that I did tell you, I think was last week or the week before, if I'm doing something that I make a lot of, so I make a lot of little quilts for the shop that are just a 5-inch square with 2.5 inch. I have this grip stuff on my ruler. It's great. Yes, you can get grips on them as well, Sue, that stops it. They're little sticky dotty things, aren't they? They're little grips, true grips or something they're called. So yeah, I went to a Perspex shop because I cut that size so much. So while I was there and I was getting one, I actually went to a Perspex shop and got them to cut a 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, right up to a 9.5. And I've got a set of they don't have any markings on them because I use my mat if I need to, but they're the set of squares and they're Perspex and they work. All right, so you can go to a Perspex shop, glass Perspex shop, and get them cut. So there's lots of little tricks to, save a little bit of money, or just use what you've got, you know, and do sort of different things that way. Yeah, there you go, Therese. Yep, I love the Perspex ones. I've got a whole set of them out there. I lost one. I can't remember what size it was. One in the reject shop. It was $6. Yeah, exactly, Margot. They do the same thing. Now, the other thing I want to say with them, if you've got the ruler in the mat, sometimes they're inches. Once you get up to the 5 or 6 inch, it's out of whack, right? They've actually used a different, don't ask me how. Don't know how an inch is different when it gets up there high, but it goes out of whack. So if you're cutting using your mat, stay with using your mat by using the markings. If you're cutting using your ruler, stay with your ruler, all right, when you're cutting. Don't swap them back and forth between the mat and the ruler if you put the ruler down and by the time you get up to number 5 or 6, it's out of whack. It's only millimeters, it's not a lot, but it's enough in our patchworking that we don't like it. All right, so just check that when you do it. If you've got the Perspex ones, trees like I have, they're a set size that I use when I'm cutting squares and everything. Are you going to say that, Joanne? Beat to it this time, honey? Yeah, have you noticed that too? So you can all go and put your ruler on your mat, and sometimes they're just out slightly once they get up to about the 5 or 6 inches. All right, thanks, Margot. Any ideas? That's fine. And that's how we do candy squares. Are we all good with that? So they are on the website, bindieshq.com. So you can go there. Gail, yours will be in the mail. I've got 10 kits cut out before I have to make sure I've got enough for another 10. But they're there. It's the solids are starting to happening. I got the word of the marbles. Do you want to see the marbles again, ladies? Do you want to see them? I've got them here because I'm in the lounge room. Where are they? Here they are. You were asking the other day for a sneak peek. I will be taking, let me just get them in the right, because he has a big range and I only could get 10 because I think 10's enough. All right, so here they are. Let's see if I can get a bit closer with them. Sometimes there's a difference between brands of rulers. So true, Dizzy. Yes. So whatever, it's a bit like your 1/4 inch foot, right? If you haven't quite lined up the 1/4 inch foot and halfway through you go, oh, it's wrong, don't change it because then nothing will match. So the same thing, if you're cutting with a certain ruler or using the mat, stick with that right through and then everything will be cut the same, whether it's out or by another ruler or not. That's okay. All right, so these aren't quite in the order I will put them in, but we've got the purple, right? There's going to be a blue. You see them okay? Here we go. It's going to be a nice bright green. We're going to have this green. We're going to have another blue. I put in a nice grey because I always like a bit of a darker colour in there. We've got the lilac-y one. We've got a yellow. We've got an orange. Okay. And there'll be a red. Right, so you've got 10 different marbles. Don't look at all the others. Yep. Now these will be coming. Now I will be doing these as pre-orders once I've got the samples here, because this is just his swatch that I've had to pick from. Samples will come through. Once I get those, I will let you all know about pre-orders, because I will do specials on the pre-orders. Get that one out right. I will do them as a special thing if anyone pre-orders before it lands here. It is coming by boat. It has to come from Brisbane, and I'm in New South Wales. So borders are shut at the moment. It is about 5 weeks away before the whole lot comes, but the sample should be here in about 2 weeks. Okay. So when they come, I'll put them up. I'm also going to sell them by the meter. So you'll be able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever meters from them as well. All right. So once they hit, once I've got it all worked out, prices, that I'm going to have to look at because of shipping. There are now COVID prices on some things that I've got to look at. Not a big lot, but they have put it because they have to be sprayed and coming from overseas. So yeah, so I'm going to do some pre-orders on the marbles. Have you worked out a price? Margot, that I'm still working on because I am just waiting for the total from everything. Once it gets on the boat, I get the total for the shipment and that. I've got a rough one, but I don't have the total. But I will say pre-orders will be at the $45 for the roll of 40 strips and everything. and I haven't quite worked out your meterage yet. All right, that one I have to wait, and the US dollar. Okay, because we buy by the US dollar, so I'm keeping an eye on that as well. So there's lots of things that I've got to do within it, but prices, and you know me, Margot, I'm going to keep them as low as I can. Honey, I've got to keep them as low as I can because I want you guys to enjoy them just as much as I do. My house is going to be full. I have 83 100-meter rolls coming. So there's lots of fabric coming. So yeah, and I live in a little tiny 2-bedroom unit behind the shop. So there is going to be fun fitting it in, but it will be. And because I live alone, it's okay because I can do the maze through fabric. So yeah. So there you go. Prices I will get once I have the samples, Margot, and I have them up on there. Then I'll have the prices on them for you. Okay. They are nice. There will be the same manufacturer that makes my solids, so they'll be on the same quality. All right. It sure is, Jane. Yeah. Hence why I sit up late doing paperwork, bookwork, cutting, and designing, and yeah, there's just so much. And because I do it all, the website, the graphics, everything. Just 83. Yeah. No, positive I don't have to iron it because it's coming on rolls. Okay, so at the moment as I get them in, they're bringing them in boxes where they've taken them off the roll, folded it, and put it in a box. So when it gets here, I have to iron it. All right? You've been saving, no worries, Margaret. But when these lot come, because I'm getting them all over, love working with numbers. I do too, Jane. I used to be an accounts manager. Many years ago when I was 17, 18, I was a car mechanic. And then I worked in the car industry for many years and got into patchworking at the same time. I was also accounts manager. Love me little work, little figures, and I love working with the inches and the quarter inches and working all that out. So, mind you, I get a bit lost. Still got to have the accountant for a lot of stuff still. But yeah, it's the fabric will be on rolls, so there's no ironing with this lot. So that's going to be so good. There still will be ironing on some that when I need a rush one in that I don't have to wait for 3 weeks on the boat. But yeah, that's okay. I don't mind ironing the odd one, but these will not be needed ironing, Joanne. So yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you. I think we've had a great night. We've had lots of questions, lots of things happening. You've had another little sneak peek of the marbles, only because I was in the back room here in my house. I call my house the back room. No ironing means more time cutting. Yeah, Jay, it doesn't mean I don't have extra work. No, I still have a lot of work to do. But yeah, no ironing just means I get a lot more cutting through. And I'm so looking forward to having all these solids, all the solids that I've got here up to date and cut, because then I can sit and I want to design some new designs for you as well. So get out some new patterns. There's about 10 to 15 up in this head that just need to come out, and they will. All right, get them when they come in. Oh, thanks, Yvonne. I love that. All right, Margot, yeah, we'll see you on Wednesday for Treasure Hunt Wednesday. Triple S's, ladies. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell. Stalk me on Facebook or Instagram. And definitely share with all your friends and everything. We need to get them in. Thanks, Marg. Night, Anne-Marie. Yeah, let's get some more people in here so we can have some fun. See you, Yvonne. Thanks, Karen. I love doing the candy squares. Sue, Dizzy. Carol, I hope you've enjoyed the night again. Thank you again so much for following me and helping me out. And lovely having you all as friends on here. Not everyone, stay safe. Yes, definitely, Joanne, let everyone stay safe. Wishes to all our friends in Victoria. In Tassie, stay warm. It's been a bit chilly down there. Ruth, night, sweetie. Night, Therese, Dizzy, and Jane. And yeah, and anything else. If you've got anything you want to know, Night, Gail. Any questions or anything, shoot them through. Anything you want demonstrated, shoot them through, and I will get them through. Don't know what I'm doing on Wednesday. Never usually do until Tuesday. Something comes up. So Treasure Hunt Wednesday. Let's get lots of people in here. Let's get lots more friends joining us. And everyone have a lovely night. Have a lovely rest of the weekend. Stay warm, stay safe, and happy sewing. See yous. Bye.